This book, you can really feel Newport, I think. You know, it mentions the Transporter Bridge and the Riverfront Theatre, so Newport's definitely a backdrop in this story. Why should people read my book, Dear Mr. Author? It's a brilliantly written, fast-paced, exciting, funny book by an award-winning author and a really thoroughly nice guy, and very modest as well with it. Secondly, the main character, I think, is really interesting and intriguing. He's called Sam Willoughby. I chose the name Willoughby because it sounds a little bit like wannabe. It's about a boy who was fed up of coming second all the time, and he feels that he suffers from bad luck. So in a way, it's about a boy searching for good luck. He's a typical underdog, and I do tend to write about underdogs. I tend to write humorous stories. My wife thinks I'm a bit mad because I make myself laugh. I'm typing away upstairs and giggling to myself. The book is based on a very unusual idea. Imagine you're walking down the street and somebody came up to you and said, "You're not a real person, you're just a character in a book." How would it make you feel? Because this is what happens to Sam. There are two main characters, Sam and an author, and the author basically tells Sam that he's not real, so he's a bit confused. He's a bit like Pinocchio, because he's not sure if he's a real boy or not really. I'm a big film buff, and two films in particular sort of influenced this book. There's a film called The Truman Show, where the main character thinks he's living a normal life, but actually is part of a television program. So that idea was playing around in my mind. And there's another film with Will Ferrell, he's a comedian. It's called Stranger Than Fiction. And it's about a character who suddenly starts hearing voices in his head, a narrator's voice. So he'll be shaving in the morning in the mirror, and he'll hear a voice saying, Harold Crick was having a bad day today. He stood in front of the mirror shaving, which totally confuses him. So I definitely use that idea because Sam meets an author. My mum didn't have a very good education, so she taught me to read and write virtually before I went to school. That sounds a bit strange, but she really, really put a lot of effort in. She says she remembers running down the street, shouting to her neighbours, "He's written the word dog." She got passionate about it. And then my dad was a really big reader. I always remember my dad with a book in his hand, and I think he must have read 2 or 3 books a week. I asked him once, how did he manage to read so fast? And he said he missed out all the little words like and the, but that may not have been true. The best teacher I ever had was my high school teacher, Mrs. Maggie Croiser. She taught me all about Shakespeare, and Jane Austen was her favourite, and H.G. Wells. So I think my passion for writing must have come from her. And finally, if you want to find out how to get chewing gum out of your hair, this is the book for you. Because Sam gets chewing gum in his hair, and I always thought ice was the answer, but apparently it's not. I did some research. So read Dear Mr. Author if you want to find out how to get chewing gum out of your hair.